Hi, this is Rachel Chordash. I am the Director of the Wellness Program and Cooking Instructor at the Culinary Center of Kansas City.
And I'm Leslie Mackey, and I'm the Manager of Life Dynamics Health and Wellness at Shawnee Mission Medical Center.
Okay. And Leslie and I, we've been talking about going to the farmer's market and how we both love it, and we decided to share with you a wonderful fruit dish, a dessert that you can make out of some of the great things that you find at the farmer's market.
Yes,
yeah,
fresh,
so
local.
It's really nice and really easy. This is something you can whip together if people show up at your house. This is something you can throw together very quickly. It's called crazy balsamic fruit with ice cream. Actually, the original dish is Italian. I was just talking to Leslie about that, and it's called pazzo. Pazzo in Italian means crazy, and it's because of the vinegar that's in the dish. You're like, vinegar? Okay, vinegar in a dessert.
Fruit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm making a believer here out of Leslie. So I've got some balsamic vinegar. If you would just pour that in that big bowl there.
Okay.
So what we start out is making a little bit of a marinade for the fruit, and we're gonna let that sit and sort of dissolve. And then I've got some sugar here that I add to the balsamic vinegar.
So it kind of makes it sweet.
Yeah, it kind of makes it sweet. Now, if you wanted to, you could use honey.
Oh, yeah.
Or a lot of people are switching to agave nectar. You could use that. If honey is a little bit sweeter, so you want to use slightly less than you would of sugar. And agave nectar is sweeter still, so you want to use about half as much as you would sugar in order to sweeten it to the same amount. And she's just stirring that up to dissolve it together. Now, then the other sort of crazy ingredient that we're adding to our dessert is salt and pepper. Now, salt you should really add to any sweet thing that you're making, because salt brings out the flavor of food, and so it really heightens the flavor of the fruit.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful thing. It's sort of what's missing from my dessert that isn't missing from the restaurant. It could be they're throwing just a little bit of salt.
Interesting.
Sea salt or kosher salt is a little bit saltier tasting than table salt.
So probably not an iodized salt, more of a sea salt.
What do you use at your house?
Sea salt.
You use sea salt?
Yes, I love sea salt.
Sea salt is wonderful because you can just put a tiny pinch in and get a wonderful flavor. And now I've just put a little bit of cracked black pepper, but the tiniest amount ever.
I can see it thickening up already.
There you go. Okay, so that is our marinade. And then I'm going to pull out some fruit. Leslie, maybe I can have you cut some blackberries in half.
Okay.
You can really use any fruit that you have in season that's sort of in the berry or stone fruit area.
Could you use raspberries?
You could definitely use raspberries. This is why this is a great farmer's market dish, because throughout the season, different berries and different stone fruits are in season. At the beginning of the season, you have strawberries, and I have a few of those here, but it's such a short window. You get strawberries for maybe 3 or 4 weeks here in Kansas City, and then you get blueberries, right?
Blueberries,
Blueberries, and those would be lovely. I'd just sort of cut them in half so the juices come out, because that's sort of the best part of the dish. And those last, I'm trying to think, maybe through July. And then you get blackberries, which will last through August, really. You get several harvests of blackberries, and raspberries are later in the summer. So whatever you've got available. What's your favorite berry?
Blueberries.
Blueberries,
yes,
okay. Well, there's a
blueberries.
long blueberry season, and you can buy them at the farmer's market. You can buy them at the store. You can even go picking, which is my very favorite thing, to support a farmer and go picking. And sometimes, if you work with farmers, they will sort of give you a deal if you buy a lot of berries at the same time. You know, a lot of times what people tell me is fruit is a lot more expensive, so I don't want to make a heavy fruit-based dish. But with a farmer, if you go and you say, you know what, I'm going to make this fruit dish, and I'm going to freeze some, and I'm going to, you know, preserve some for later, you can buy a lot when it's in season, as opposed to trying to buy a little bit every week when you need it. So it's a great tip, I think, for
you would want to use fresh versus frozen.
For this dish, you want to use fresh. For other things, you can definitely use frozen. If you were making muffins or whatever you're going to make throughout the year, you can get a great deal on berries now and freeze them very easily. You just want to put them on a plate or a sheet pan, put them in your freezer so they're just spread out. There's one layer, and freeze them, and then you take them out and you shake them into a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer, and they're much, much cheaper
How easy
than going to the grocery store. Exactly.
Right.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, I'm making her do all the work, apparently. So I lost my knife, but I'm just going to put in the strawberries to our marinade here, and I'm going to have her add the blackberries. And by the way, let me grab a knife here real quick. I was just going to show a quick strawberry cutting, you know, strawberries, they're good all the way up to the top. So I just like to hold them by their top here, the green top, slice that off, and then give them a little quarter. And I always put them head side down because things that are flat don't roll around, and I tend to cut myself. So move that out of the way. Now the other thing that you can put in, berries aren't always in season, but another thing that comes into season is stone fruit. And I've got a couple peaches here because it's turning into peach season here in Kansas City. And I just like to, I'm a little bit lazy, so I just kind of cut off the cheeks. I cut off one side. Let's see if I can move this out of the way. Cut off one side, and then I lay him down, and I cut off another side. Turn them and cut off again, and this is the easy way to get your peach cut. And I don't peel him, the peach, because I really like the texture that the peel adds. It doesn't bother me at all. If you really are offended by peach skins, you can certainly peel it off. You can dip it into a little bit of boiling water and pull it out quickly, and the peel will just slip right off. If you squeeze the peach, it'll go whoop, and the whole peach will pop out.
So you put it as a whole peach?
A whole peach in the boiling water. You just boil some water like you would for pasta. You throw your whole peaches in there, let them stay in there for about 30, 45 seconds, pull them out and squeeze them, and they go whoop, and pop out.
Okay.
Or you can buy nectarines instead, or you can buy plums, and there's no fuzz problem there. So then we're just gonna chop these up into sort of bite-sized pieces because we're gonna put it on top of ice cream. Just the pieces that you would want. There we go. Dicing them up and put them in the marinade. And I call this a marinade, but when you think marinade, what do you usually think?
Something that you coat the product in and like it sits there for a while.
It sits there for a while. Yeah, usually you think of something like marinating chicken and you put it in there and you leave it there. With this, as soon as we put it in, it's kind of pretty much done. So like I said, this is your last minute dessert option that you can just throw together quickly. And if you would just give that a stir, I'm gonna get the most important ingredient out.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Okay, this is ice cream. This is some low-fat ice cream, actually. You can get the churned, I don't know, 2, 3 times, however many times you churn. I think that's supposed to make it lower calorie, right? Or frozen yogurt.
Air into it,
yeah. Or you could serve this over regular Greek yogurt, or with mascarpone cheese is really nice. A little bit of crumbled cookies. So all you do is just add your fruit, which is now very flavorful in the balsamic vinegar, to your ice cream.
Is this one of those things that as it sits, it would like absorb the flavor even more?
You know what happens is as it sits, the juices from the fruit come out a little bit more, so you get a little bit more liquid, but it's very fruit flavored, so it's really, really nice. At the end, the vinegar that's left over is really a lovely sauce. So if you have a lot of liquid at the bottom and you're like, I already ate all the fruit, I'm not sure what to do, you can put it into a saucepan and cook it for about 30 seconds to a minute, and it becomes a very nice syrup. And you can also pour that over ice cream or cookies or whatever. It's a lovely dessert syrup.
Wow.
You can keep it in your refrigerator for a little while. This is a very low calorie dessert because a lot of it is fruit and vinegar adds a lot of flavor, but obviously not a whole lot of calories.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I hope everyone is brave enough to try the crazy fruit at home. Hit your farmer's market, see what's there, buy a lot in season, and make this for all your friends.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.